To combine these images together in Photoshop Elements, we need a slightly different strategy to the one we've used in the magazine for Photoshop CS. It involves the same kind of principles, but we just need a little bit of a different approach because Photoshop Elements doesn't supply us with ready-made layer masks, but there is a workaround we can use. So you need to start by opening all three images on the cover disk, and in Elements they're conveniently docked in the photo bin down here. So we've got the main image, which is the one that contains the water and the rocks that we want to use, but we want to replace this horizon line that's rather burnt out and haloed, and we need to do this from the horizon image that we've got here, and we also need to replace the sky, and we'll do that from sky.jpg that's also on the cover disk. Now there's another part of this image that needs a little manipulation, and that is this area of the sky that's severely blown out, but we'll sort that a little later on once we've combined all three images. So to begin, I first want to display my layers palette so we can see what's going on there, and I want you to start by going to the horizon.jpg image, and all we want to do from this is copy this nice sharp horizon from this image in particular and paste it into our other one. For that we want to choose the lasso tool. Now this is nested under the other varieties of lasso tool, so if you can't see it, just click on the one that's showing, click and hold, and choose it from the pop-out menu there. And what we want to do here is make a fairly rough selection. Doesn't matter if you include a little bit of the white sky in this. I want to make a rough selection around this horizon and allow a little bit to play with around there, and simply follow the horizon all the way around, going back to where you started, and release the mouse button. So that area is nicely selected. I want to go to Edit and Copy to copy that to the clipboard, and then return to the main image itself. Let's just zoom into that a little so we can see a little better what's going on. I'll just drag that up there. Okay, so we'll now go to Edit and Paste to paste that horizon. Just want to reduce the opacity of that layer just a little, around about 60 odd % will do, and we'll choose the Move tool. Want to make sure that Show Bounding Box is not selected, so we'll just check that off in the options bar, and I simply want to drag this up and into place. It's just worth taking a bit of time to make sure that things are nicely lined up, and you can do that visually fairly easily. And simply release the mouse button when we've done. Let's just zoom out of that a little and see how that looks. Return that layer to 100% opacity. Yeah, and that looks really good. Okay, so as I said, we don't have the advantage of actual layer masks in Elements, but we can actually cheat one. To do that, we'll go to the adjustment layer icon and choose levels from the list. Now it's very important at this point that you don't make any adjustments to this levels dialog at all, because we just want to use the attached layer mask, so we'll simply click OK to that. Now we'll click and hold on that adjustment layer, drag it down and drop it on the division between the pasted horizon and the background layer. I'm going to click on the pasted horizon layer, going to go to Layer and Group with Previous, and now you'll see if we click directly on the adjustment layer, this layer mask will actually affect the contents of that layer, which is exactly what we want it to do. Okay, so working on the adjustment layer, I want to choose my brush tool and make sure I'm using black as foreground, because in terms of layer masking, black conceals and white reveals. I'm going to increase the size of the brush a little there, and I'm going to reduce the opacity to round about 50%. Want a nice soft brush for this. That one will do us absolutely fine. Just going to increase the size a little, and now I'm simply going to use this brush with black just to gently mask out any hard lines that we can see between that pasted layer and the existing landscape. Simply brush very gently around here, just to get rid of any hard join lines, and you'll see the black has now appeared on this layer mask. If I hold down the Alt key and simply click the layer mask, there we can see the layer mask itself in isolation, the black indicating the hidden areas of this associated image layer.